All right, welcome back to our conversation. Today we want to talk a little bit about the reactions that people have and how those reactions really affect the way they are or are not successful in handling their money. And I want to talk first of all about what I call the negative Nellies. Now, if you happen to be a negative Nelly, don't worry, we can fix it. It's not a problem, but it starts out being a big problem. And a negative Nelly is just somebody that always is concentrating on the negative news. They're watching the news on a daily basis and they're feeding themselves with all the bad things that are going on in the world. So their natural reaction is going to be negative. They're going to be very, very frustrated. They find themselves dwelling on all the bad things. They call people like us in our position as advisors, and they're talking about all the horrible things in the world, from the trade wars to the fires, to they're the ones on Facebook that are posting, is it just me or is this world coming to an end? If that's what you're feeding yourself with, your success rate in money is going to be very, very difficult because it takes a little bit of resilience to be successful. But the takeaway, if you find yourself leaning that direction, is really start to figure out how to feed yourself more positivity. What habits are you practicing on a day-to-day basis that are leading to that decision to really make yourself think a certain way or not? Do you find yourself in conversations talking about the rain instead of the sun? You can fix that. And as you correct that, the success in money will become more evident. The next one is I'm going to go to the far end and I'm going to talk about Positive Paul. Positive Paul is literally the person that tends to be the most successful. Positive Paul doesn't look at their statements on a regular basis. They're not absent, but they're not daily checking to look for the things that are wrong in the day. When they watch the news, maybe they're not watching the news and letting somebody else tell them how to feel, tell them how to think. Maybe they're not watching Facebook videos that tell them how to feel, that tell them how to think. Maybe they're reading it and they're taking it in. I do that all the time. I try to read my news so that I know what's going on, but I'm not allowing someone else to set my mood. If the person on the other side's angry, sometimes I can find myself angry, and I don't want to do that. So from Positive Paul's perspective, he kind of takes the look at life as half full. When there's opportunity, he sees it. But you can't see opportunity if you're focused in the opposite mindset. So our favorite people tend to be the positivity people, all right? Then there's the middle, which is most people, okay? Most people, even if they're sometimes negative Nelly or sometimes Positive Paul, they can be Teetering Timothy as well. And Teetering Timothy, this is the most original one. Teetering Timothy really goes back and forth between the negativity and the positivity. They're the people that will come into our office or come to a town hall and they're pumped, they're amped. They feel great because we added perspective to all the things they're feeling. See, emotion is one of those things that if you let it regulate financial decisions, you put yourself in a pretty bad spot. Emotional decisions are often not our best. Now, I'm not talking about gut. I think gut can be something that's really, really good to feel and use. But if all you're feeding yourself is negative energy, negative news, negative life, your gut's going to feel negative all the time, I hate to tell you. If you're actually in the middle and you find yourself teetering, so they come in and they're amped and they walk out, and then they decide after about 3 days or 4 days of just feeding themselves the same negative news, they're like, hey, can you remind me why I'm supposed to feel good about everything that's going on or what opportunity there is? Don't make someone else have to advise you on opportunity. See the opportunity in every day. Find the positivity in the day and lean there. You don't have to be 100% positive, but be 65% positive, and you're going to find yourself to be a lot more successful. So if you're a negative Nelly, change the habit, change the day. If you're a positive Polly, keep it up. You're probably going to continue to have money success. If you're Teetering Timothy, try to pay attention to what's leaning you towards that negative stuff. Are there habits you can change? What do you do when you first wake up? Do you practice any level of gratitude? Do you look at what you have and say, oh my gosh, I remember where I started and now I'm here. This is amazing. Or do you find yourself in the other area where you're so pumped most of the time, but one negative thing, the Dow Jones Industrial Average was down today by 30 points and all of a sudden your dinner is ruined. If that's you, control the situation. So those are the takeaways from today. Figure out where you stand. and change a little bit of the way you react to find more money success. Thanks for joining us on today's Money Conversations. I'm Scott Danner with Freedom Street Partners.